get it on the jet sweep to the short side. Up the sideline. Sam McCaffrey. He is gone.
Intercepted. It is intercepted by the Tigers. Stephen Brogan picks it off for LC.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies. On to the regional semifinal round along with Tory, Strock. I am Lynn, Groll. Coach, good to have you back as we head deeper into the road to Canton this week.
It's good to be back, Lynn. This kind of feels like our second home this time of year.
Yeah.
You know, but I can't say I mind it. Glenn and Greg Badenhop have been good to us. My only qualm is we may do a little too good a job promoting some of the goods they have in the freezers because it's depleted, and it wasn't just a few days ago. So it's a double-edged sword in my opinion. I love to promote our sponsors, but at the same time, I'm taking a hit, and I don't like it.
I know you are. The blueberry brats out there, they're pretty good, right?
I hope you're saying that tongue-in-cheek with me.
Well, I don't really like the blueberry brats and all the patties out there. That's why I'm saying that.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. That's a veteran move by you. Yeah, you've got to. I'll tell you, the one thing I've learned is stay away from the bacon cheddar. Originally, I thought they were good, and then I had another. They're terrible. So do not. They're bad. So stay away from those. But those were all gone. Last week or Saturday when we left our Rise and Rewind, so I had to go with just cheddar. And I'm on the Sattler Family Meats bandwagon now, man.
The brats.
Yeah, they've stepped up their game. And they've always been good, but they've taken it to another level. So I'm riding with them.
Before we forget, happy birthday to our dear friend, Coach Dick Cromwell from St. Francis, celebrating his birthday today. About 35 years young, I believe.
Yes, I think you're close. He's probably having a Mountain Dew as he celebrates. He's a legend, couple of state championships. What a life. You know, you're retired. You have a couple of big, gaudy state championship rings. You have a lovely wife who takes good care of you. And he said he's making a trip here in the very near future to stock up on some things.
That could be bad news for the bacon cheddar brats out there and the steak allotment.
I think I may hide the bacon cheddar brats in the way back behind something that doesn't sell as well.
There you go.
Like a beef round steak.
There you go.
You know, nobody eats that unless they're making jerky.
I have a feeling we're going to get a picture from Coach Cromwell here this Monday night when we recorded this. I'm sure we're going to get a picture of him grilling something unless his beautiful bride took him out for his birthday dinner.
There's a good chance. I would say he's earned it. But, yeah, if he's not out to dinner, he'll be firing up the grill. But I don't know. His old bones, pretty frigid out there.
It is pretty cold today. It is pretty chilly.
He might be throwing some chicken strips in the air fryer tonight, the old boy.
Cut down the teams in each division from 16 to 8 this week as we will go to the regional final round next week, which will mean a neutral site. This week is still at the higher seed. Next week we'll go to a neutral site venue for the regional championships and the state semifinals, and then the state championships obviously in Canton again this year.
Yeah, there's looking at the lineup for this week, Lynn. You look at Central Catholic, and I mentioned this Saturday, they're the road warriors, man. Mm-hmm. They may be the pick to win it all in Division III, and they haven't hosted a playoff game. And if you know, you know. But Wapak will welcome them this week.
They will. Coach, let's take a break, come back, and talk about the regional semifinal round coming up this week after these messages from our title sponsor, the Gherkin Companies.
Who says a college degree is the only path to a fulfilling career? At the Gherkin Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods with or without a degree. Gherkin provides a generous benefits package, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. We're looking for rock-solid performers to help build and reinforce the region's infrastructure. Whether you have construction experience or are just starting your career, apply now at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
Thank you again to the Gherkin Company's title sponsor of our podcast again this season. Seeds remaining going into the regional semifinal round, Coach. 26 of the 28 1 seeds are still alive. 24 2 seeds, 3 seeds, there's 18 left. 4 seeds, 17 of those. 10 of the 5 seeds, 7 of the 6 seed, 4 of the 7s, just 1 8 and 1 9 remain. There are no 10 seeds remaining. There are 3 11 seeds and 1 12 seed, which is Fort Recovery, and they have a huge mountain to climb this week going to Marion Local.
Yeah, and again, when you rattle off those numbers, it just leads me to believe I think they got it right. And I think 12 was the right number with the bye. I really do. Just took that one extra week to whittle it down to 8, and I kind of like it. I think we're in a good place.
I do too. There's been some, I'll get your opinion on this. There's been some folks that have asked me, well, what if we take the top teams from every division instead of splitting it up into regions to start with, get the top teams into the playoffs, and then you
split it from there.
Which would be, what did we have in each division this year? 48 teams? 48 teams?
24, 48, yes, correct.
So you take the top 48 teams as far as the computer rankings are and put them into a pool and maybe divvy it out in 4 regions and play it out. Do you like that idea?
The reason I do like it, and I know it's a little more work on the back end, having to do the regions at the end of the season as opposed to the beginning, but the reason I do like it, and we've seen this over the years, there are certain regions where teams are left out, but had they been in this region instead, they make it. You know, they might have been 9th in this region, but they finished 14th in this one. There's been several cases of that over the years, and that would eliminate it. And so I think there's something to be said for that. I guess the regions might be a little wonky because you may have a part of the state that's really heavy, you know, and then fewer here, and so that may be an issue. But I like it. I do. And I don't think it would be that big a deal to break them down. Maybe I'm wrong. I like the idea, though. It'd keep teams from getting left out.
I think there'd be some strategy with scheduling for athletic directors and coaches because you can't play cupcakes in the non-conference season because you may be left out if you do.
Yeah, and I like it for that reason. I really do. Because, again, we've said many times, you know, if you know how to game the system, it's not that hard to do, to be honest. So that would force you to play some tougher games. I personally like that, but the OHSAA, I don't know if they would see it as a logistical nightmare, getting the regions.
It'd be a lot of work.
It would.
After the regular season to put those teams in regions.
It would.
And I don't know what coaches would think of that, and communities, they may have to travel a little bit further, possibly, for some early round matchups that they're not accustomed to.
Yeah, and I guess thinking about it a little more since you asked, probably the majority of the 48, you could almost get arranged before week 11. You know, you probably know who 38 to 42 of those teams are going to be. The majority. So you can kind of get them arranged, and then it's if this team, they're going to be here, if they get it. I think it can be done the more I think about it. But I kind of like that.
We have to talk to our good friend Tim Street at the OHSA and
get his thoughts
on something like that, and if it's ever been considered by the OHSA.
I wonder if it has, because I've heard it, and there's years, again, it'd be frustrating, you know, back, say, when it was 8 teams, you finished 10th, but in this region over here, you'd have been 5th, you know, and that'd be frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, because you're just a victim of the region you're in. So,
yeah, a team like Fort Recovery, they're not a 12 seed. No. They're just in a tough region with all the other MAC schools.
Yep.
But in a lot of regions, they may be the favorite.
I know. Absolutely may be the favorite. So I think it's worth considering. I mean, I think the goal should always be to, you know, not just the status quo, even though it's easier sometimes.
And we do not know the state semifinal regional matchups yet. That usually comes out. I believe it's the regional championship week when the OHSA divulges that information, but we'll have to wait another week. I know a lot of people have asked, well, which regions are playing? Well, we don't know yet because they haven't figured it out.
No. I think we probably have a pretty good idea, based on
they stay
precedent. Yeah.
traditionally with what they've done in the past, of course. State championship games, Thursday, December 4th is the Division II state championship. That will be at 7. Then moving to Friday, December 5th, Division IV is at 10:30 a.m. Friday, December 5th, the Division III state championship is at 3. Friday, December 5th, the Division I state championship in prime time at 7:30 p.m. And then the final day of the state championships this season on Saturday, December 6th. Division 7 starts the day at 10:30 a.m. Division 6 on Saturday, December 6th will be at 3. And then the state championship week rounds out with the Division 5 state title game at 7:30 on Saturday, December 6th.
Lynn, what would be your ideal time slot? You're a coach.
I think you want to stay the Friday 7:30 game, the
you?
Division I game. I think.
Yeah. I like, and I agree for obvious reasons, the continuity in that. I always thought, because I went probably 17 straight years and I didn't miss a finals weekend. My favorite time slot was always that mid-afternoon game, the 3 o'clock game. And that's where Liberty's been the
last 2 years.
Last
I think the 3 o'clock game. Yes.
Yeah.
This season, if they get there, would be 7:30 on Saturday night.
Okay. I like that afternoon time slot, especially when it's frigid, which it gets frigid in Stark County, and boy, it gets blustery sometimes. Those late games.
Right.
Sometimes they're not as well attended because they're late. No, sometimes they are. Sometimes they aren't. Depends who's playing. But that 3 o'clock slot, and I've been to several 10:30 games, and I think that's when Grove played Marion Local.
I think so. Yep.
Back in the day,
Yep.
and we made that game. Now we may or may not have been out late the night before, but that would be a tough time slot to get her cranked up. It'd be like a scrimmage in August,
Right.
But I like 3 o'clock.
Yeah. I know my brother played in the state championship game back in 1986 with the Ayersville team that you're well acquainted with. Your cousins played on that team, and they played it, I think, 10:30 a.m. at Ohio Stadium, the Horseshoe, that season against J.D. Graham's Newark Catholic powerhouse. And he didn't like it just because he always enjoyed the bus rides going to the game on a Friday night. They went down the day before on a charter bus. It was different, he always told me. And they woke up. You didn't have your normal routine that you normally do on a Friday night. Now it's not a reason why they lost to Newark Catholic that day, but it was different. And I think as he's gotten older, he missed having the opportunity to do the normal traditions of the game day. It just felt different. Mm-hmm. He always sat with the same player on the bus going to all the games, and he didn't have that going on the way down because it really didn't matter. You weren't going to the game. You were playing the next day. But it's always interesting playing that 10:30 game. It's so much different to get charged up. You wake up, you're probably a little groggy, and you're just not used to rolling like that.
No.
And Newark Catholic that year, they just rolled in that day on the bus. They didn't stay over, and it's different for the teams that are over that way that can just travel in that day.
Yep, I would agree wholeheartedly. Everything that you said, your brother Andy said, I agree, and that's the one thing. Some people would think riding on those yellow buses is uncomfortable and all that. There's some of your greatest memories. Mm-hmm. They just are. I miss that, and I miss it as a coach. I didn't even mind it as a coach, to be honest with you. But I remember that morning at Ohio Stadium so well, Lynn. It was a bright sunshine. It was beautiful. It was cold, but it was beautiful. And what I remember is all the buses and all the teams. I can still remember Willoughby South Rebels. I still remember those things. That was awesome. I didn't remember, though, it being that early. I was thinking early afternoon.
Yeah, no, that was the morning game that season. And there was a few of the Ayersville players that season, they'd always go to Mag. It was Mag's Cafe, not Enzine's like it is now that Brandon Enzyme owns. But they would go to Mag's before games on Friday nights and have a hot beef sandwich. Well, Squirt Mag gave them a crock pot of hot beef to actually take to Columbus that season.
I love that.
Just
so
another
much.
nice little story about Mag's and Enzine's Pub, a storied staple of Northwest Ohio.
Yeah, and Ensign's Pub would do the same thing. If there were a local team and they wanted some hot beef, they'd send it with them.
Yeah, a little tidbit there.
Love it.
Still working on our, if you listen to Rise and Rewind a couple Saturdays ago, still working on our trip around to some establishments, possibly.
We have some interested parties, I'll tell you
we
that.
have quite a few.
Yeah.
And they are pretty adamant that this happens.
Yeah, and one of our loyal Rise and Rewind guys, Jay Brown, who's always with us on Rise and Rewind, he teaches junior high math at Napoleon. He grabbed me at school that Monday, and he said, dude, I'm in, and my brothers will go, and it's picking up some steam.
It is.
I think it'd be fun.
We'll get through the season and try to work out some details on that, Coach.
And I know Glenn Badenhop is all in, whether it's helping with transportation, sponsoring something.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling that quite a few of the coffee club members and the porch coaches group would be interested in that endeavor as well.
I could rattle off 5 off the top of my head that would be in.
Yeah. Maybe Rex will pick up the tab for us. I think he's going to pay for the bus.
There is no chance.
No, there's not.
Oh, there's no chance.
All right, Coach, going to start in Division 1. Region 1, our local team is still alive there. Toledo Whitmer is going to Lakewood St. Edward this week to play in the Region 1 semifinals. The other Region 1 semifinal is number 3, Canton McKinley at number 2, Mentor, coming up this week. Whitmer 9-2, 34.6 points per game, 13 points per game allowed. Lakewood St. Ed, 9-2, 38.3 points per game, 19.2 allowed. Fantastic 50 has St. Edward favored by 27. Dub Stat has St. Edward favored by 6. Make of that what you will.
I was going to ask you, that's quite a discrepancy.
Yeah, it is.
27 and 6. Now, do you have any more numbers, and I'll tell you?
I do. But you can give me your thoughts on the spreads that those two analytical websites have.
I would, and obviously we're pulling for the Whitmer Panthers being here in our coverage area. I would say the line on paper, the 27 would be closer than the 6. And I know that sounds disrespectful, and it's not meant to be, but I think the gap there is pretty significant. And so that's 21-point difference. I think the Fantastic 50 maybe is a little more accurate.
St. Ed's has a tradition of great success against Whitmer. Beat Whitmer 24-7 in the regional quarters last year, 23-13 in the state semifinals in 2010, 68-14 in the 2002 regular season, and 44-27 in the 2001 regular season. St. Ed's losses are to Massillon, Washington, and Hoban. Safety Braden Thomas, a 3-star commit to Michigan State. Makai Boone is a 3-star cornerback committed to West Virginia. Mason Wilhelm, a 3-star interior offensive lineman committed to Ohio State. Broden Moore, a 3-star cornerback committed to Western Michigan. And DeAndre Taylor is a 3-star defensive lineman committed to Kent State. So they have some big-time talent, does St. Ed's again this season. St. Ed's has thrown for 1,680 yards, ran for 2,195. Brandon White has 1,219 yards rushing and 14 TDs. Whitmer has allowed just 2.7 yards per rush and just 188 of 337 passing to foes this season. Foes have 1,809 yards through the air. Zach Aubrey leads Whitmer's defense, 8 sacks, 17.5 tackles for loss, 40 tackles. Dominic Arndt has 6 picks for Whitmer on the offensive side for the Panthers. 2,695 yards rushing, led by Joey Morales, 901 yards, 11 TDs, while Jamon Holmes has 18 trips to lead the Panthers. 777 yards rushing for Jamon Holmes this season. Carter Bourne has completed 117 of 165 passes, a dozen touchdowns, including 31 tosses to Brandon Waddle for 444 yards and 4 TDs.
Well, the average of that, Lynn, is 16.5. That, I think, would be a little more reasonable. But as you kind of rattled off the St. Ed's Whitmer history, Whitmer didn't get boat raced in all those games.
No. Kept it somewhat close in those.
Yeah. So St. Ed's would be the favorite on paper for certain, and especially looking at their schedule and things like that. But I don't know if recent history is any indication. Whitmer's going to show well and compete, but
it's a different animal to deal with, this St. Ed's team.
Different animal. The depth and they're going to be a handful. Would love it if we get a halftime score and Whitmer's right there and has a chance to win it. But they've been, ever since they got that wake-up call against Clay, they've been locked in.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to lock in for this one for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to take St. Ed's as well in this matchup, Coach.
Yeah.
Also in Region 1, as I mentioned, Canton McKinley is at Mentor. Do you have a favorite in that one, Coach? That's a pretty big-time game over in the northeast section of the state.
Yeah, I like Mentor. I like the Cardinals, even though I believe McKinley's a slight favorite. That's a close matchup. But I like Mentor just because. And again, McKinley's got speed. They've got size. They lost Week 10, I think, to Massillon. I think Massillon won that one. But I'm gonna go with a Mentor St. Edward championship game.
Okay. Region 2, number 5 Springfield, 8-4 is at number 1 Middletown, and then number 6 Huber Heights Wayne is at number 2 Troy, who is 9-2 this week. I like Wayne and Springfield.
That's what I was gonna say. I like Springfield for sure, even though they're the 5 seed. Don't let that fool you. And Wayne, I think they were pretty impressive last week.
Yeah, against Findlay.
Against Findlay. I like that matchup you just named. I agree with you.
Region 3, number 5 Powell Olentangy Liberty, 8-4 is at number 1 Lewis Center Olentangy Orange, who is 11-0. Number 6 Upper Arlington, 10-2 is at number 2 Pickerington Central in the other Region 3 state semifinal or regional semifinal this week.
Yeah, I like Orange just because of their body of work. And there's a little local flavor down there at Orange with Wes Schrader, the head coach. His brother Bryce Schrader, who was a heck of an athlete at Lipsick, it'd be Mark Meyer's nephew. Mark is an assistant coach at Napoleon. His nephew is an outstanding player for Orange, like a stud on that Orange team.
Okay.
Filled with studs.
Okay. Region 4, rounding out Division 1, Cincinnati Princeton, the number 4 seed, 9-2 is at number 1 Cincinnati Elder, who was 11-0, and then the big one down in the Cincinnati area this week, number 3 Cincinnati St. Xavier, 8-2 at number 2 Cincinnati Archbishop Moeller, who is 8-3.
How do you pick that region? Elder, Princeton, Moeller, and St. X. I'm going to do the easy thing. I'm going to pick Moeller just because they're Moeller.
Yeah.
But
boy,
there's some heavyweights there.
Yep.
Jeez.
A couple of well-attended games down there in Region 4 coming up on Friday night. Division 2, Region 5, number 5 Hudson, 10-2 is at number 1 Akron Archbishop Hoban, who is 9-1, and then number 3 Austintown Fitch, 9-1, is at number 2 Walsh Jesuit, who is 9-1 going into that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Hoban, Walsh Jesuit's good. Those two had a knockdown drag-out earlier in the year, but until somebody beats Hoban, you got to lean Hoban.
Region 6, number 4 North Ridgeville, 10-1 is at number 1 Medina Highland, 11-0 is Medina Highland this season, and then number 3 Avon, the defending state champions, 10-1 at number 2 Wadsworth, who is 11-0 going into that matchup.
You know, Lynn, I was texting with my friend Mike Hummer this morning or last night, and his son Brian, as I said, coaches at Wadsworth, and Avon since 2017, 13-1 state semis, 12-2 state semis, 2019, 13-1 state semis, 2021, 12-3 state finals, 2022, 12-2, 2023, 14-1 state finalists, 2024, 16-0 state champs, and 2025 currently 10-1, 92-11, 5 state semifinals, 2 state final appearances since 2017. That's what the Wadsworth Grizzlies are dealing with. But they do get them at home. I like Highland in the other. Even though we found out, I think North Ridgeville's pretty good.
Yep.
I like Highland based on tradition, but Wadsworth, Avon, I want to go with Wadsworth so bad because I want to, people say, oh, I called that. Well, you guessed. You flipped a coin. I'm going to go with Avon just because of what I just read, their track record. They expect to win. Wadsworth has them at home. You want to talk about a crowd, that place is going to be hopping. But I'm going to go with Avon.
Yeah, I would too if I had to pick that matchup.
What's the line on that?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty tight.
I would think it is. What region is that?
That is Region 6, Coach.
6. Top 2. 10. Avon by 10.
Okay.
According to Fantastic 50.
Somewhat close.
Yeah, I
But
think
still,
so.
10 on the road against the undefeated number 2 seed.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you're pretty good.
pretty good. Yeah, Region 7 and Division 2, number 4, Canal Winchester, 10-1, is at number 1, Sunbury Big Walnut, who is 10-1 as well. And then number 3, Massillon Washington, 8-3, at number 2, Columbus St. Francis de Sales, who is 9-2. How about that? Massillon and Columbus St. Francis de Sales, who survived a nail nibbler last Friday night.
They sure did. I've got to go with Massillon Washington. I mean, my goodness, they beat St. Ed's and McKinley, 2 Division I heavyweights. So I like Massillon there. But I think it was a year ago, Lynn, in this tournament, in this region, Big Walnut knocked off Massillon, I think. And I know they don't play yet. Could be a regional final. But Massillon got upset by Big Walnut. And it ain't going to happen this year. I like Massillon all the way through this region.
Okay. Region 8, number 5, Cincinnati LaSalle, 9-3, at number 1, Cincinnati Anderson, who is 11-0, and then number 7, Harrison, 9-3, is at number 3, Trotwood Madison, who is 7-3, as we round out Division 2.
I'll ride with Anderson all the way through that region. I don't know much about Harrison, to be honest with you. They've rolled in the playoffs, 40-7, 35. Had a close one last week, 35-31, but I like Anderson.
Okay. Rounds out Division 2. I'm going to go back and look at that Big Walnut from a year ago.
Pretty sure that was last year. And I don't remember if it was a semifinal or a regional final, but that was a shocker. Nobody gave Big Walnut a chance. And the Massillon Tigers didn't like that too well.
Yeah, 14-7. Big Walnut knocked off Massillon a year ago.
And
Then lost to Anderson the next week, 28-24 in the state semis.
I think they proved that wasn't a fluke. Big Walnut was pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
A little tidbit for you. That's where Reed Kreger from PH, that's where his girlfriend's from.
Oh, really?
Sunbury Big
Big
Walnut.
Walnut? Okay.
So I'll root for Big Walnut in that region.
Okay, little family stakes,
Yeah,
huh?
you know.
Okay. Division 3, Region 9, number 4, Cleveland Villa Angela St. Joseph, 9-1, is at number 1, Canfield, who is 10-1, and number 6, Akron East, is at number 2, Cuyahoga Falls CVCA, who is 10-0 this season.
Curious what that Canfield line is there with Cleveland St. Joe. Oh, ooh. Wow. Interesting. Fantastic 50 likes Villa Angela St. Joseph by 2.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
They do have a win over Poland Seminary. Canfield does. But St. Joe, interesting. I would have thought Canfield would be a favorite. They've beaten Villa Angela St. Joe. Their only loss was to Mooney. And they're picked over Canfield. Mooney might be pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard they're pretty good from some Steubenville folks who
Okay.
they played earlier this season.
They would know.
Yeah.
Steubenville folks would
I
recognize
don't know that they're the
good
Mooney
team.
teams of past,
Yeah.
but still formidable the way it sounds.
Interesting.
Could find out what they're made of against an area team possibly down the road.
Yes, we could.
In Division 5.
Yes, we could.
Region 10, number 5, Rocky River, 10-2, is at number 1, Medina Buckeye, who is 11-0. And then our local matchup, a game that we've been talking about since August, number 6, Central Catholic, 8-4, at number 2, Walpock, who is 11-0 on Friday night. Central Catholic, 8-4, 31.3 points per game, giving up just 14.9. Wapakoneta, 39.2 points per game, giving up just 13.6. Fantastic 50 likes Central Catholic by 21. Dubstat likes Central Catholic by 7.5. These two teams have never met. Walpock quarterback Caleb Moeller, 173 of 203 now. 2,430 yards, 24 touchdowns, only one interception. Top target, Caden Page, 76 grabs, 1,051 yards, 11 TDs. Jarrett Mullen, 42 catches for 500 yards, 7 TDs. Noah Bishop has added 20 grabs for 425 yards and 2 TDs. Mullen also has 678 yards rushing on 78 attempts and 7 scores, while Caleb Moyer has ran for 557 yards, 23 touchdowns on 109 keepers. But Victor Singleton against Caden Page. Victor headed to Texas A&M, top recruit in Ohio. Caden Page headed to Ohio University next year to play for the Bobcats. That'll be an interesting matchup.
Lynn, give me Caleb Moyer's passing numbers again.
173 of 203, 2,430 yards, 24 touchdowns, 1 interception.
That is in 170-some completions.
Yep, 173 completions.
Of 203 attempts.
203.
203 attempts. 85% completion. 85%. I would be curious if any quarterback in the state of Ohio is over 70% for someone with, say, at least 100 attempts. 70% is 60+% outstanding. 85%, that's like unattainable. Like your guys are just going to drop that many. So that is unbelievable. And you can say, well, yeah, he throws a lot of quick stuff. Yeah, I know, but guys drop them. Wapak guys don't very often. 85%, 203 attempts, unbelievable.
Okay, I'm going to pose a question for you. Knowing they have Victor Singleton, that fierce front that Central Catholic's going to bring into that matchup against the Wapak front, does Caleb Moyer complete 65% of his passes against this Central defense?
Hate it when you ask me good questions, Lynn. That's about right where he's going to be.
65?
Yes, because they will throw the high percentage stuff. And yeah, I would say yes. I would say yes, just because his track record. Now I know they haven't played Central, but Caleb Moyer's track record. If you bet against him, you're probably going to get burnt in terms of like a question like you just asked. Now, here's the difference. A lot of the teams Wapak plays, because we know they do a lot of perimeter stuff, quick stuff. Teams have to be cautious because of those guys taking the top off, so they got to give them cushion so they can do this stuff all night. Central doesn't have to be cautious. They can get right up in your grill
with one guy
and then run with you. That's what makes them dangerous. You know what I would do if I were Wapak? And Coach Moyer's one of the smartest coaches you'll ever meet. I would have an entire arsenal of misdirection things ready to unveil. And I'm sure they have some anyway. But a team like, it used to be like this when we used to play Springfield under Coach Gucciardo when they were uber athletic. If you just try to run right at them, man, it's almost impossible. And if you try to just run sweeps, they're going to chase you down. You almost have to get them going one way and hit them with misdirection. I'll be shocked if Wapak doesn't give them a heavy dose of misdirection and a lot of window dressing with motion and stuff.
Hopefully you didn't give away the game plan right there.
I hope I didn't. But the reason that's still not a guarantee against Central Catholic is because those dudes have high football IQs, and Greg Dempsey his staff, those kids are so well prepared. Like at Central, if you're supposed to stay home on the backside of a play, they stay home. I mean, they're coached up. But it gives you a fighting chance, I think. You got to kind of use their speed and stuff against them. And even that is not a guarantee. It'd just be a nightmare preparing for that Central defense.
Oh.
But Coach Moyer, I'm telling you, all the way back when he was at Winford, I used to watch his teams and just marvel how well coached they were. Wapak has a chance in this game, Lynn.
What percent chance you give them?
I would give them my percent may be a little higher than what most would give them. I'm going to give them a 30% chance. I was going to say 25. I'm going to give them a 30% chance because they're at home. If this were on Cherry Street, and I know we're not talking about the big house or Horseshoe, but if this were on Cherry Street, I'd maybe give them a 10% chance. I'm going to give them a 30% chance just because of how well coached they are. And those kids are going to, they're going to play with every fiber of their body.
They have a bunch of veterans that have been waiting for this moment. They haven't had, Caleb Moyer's been hurt the last couple years when they've got deep into the playoffs, which has affected them.
It has. I will not be a bit surprised if we get a halftime update and it's a one-possession game. I won't be surprised one bit. But I also won't be surprised if we get a halftime score and Central's up 21-3. I wouldn't be surprised.
You picking Walpock then?
I am going with the Irish.
Okay, all right.
But they have a chance. They really do. I just have so much respect for Greg Dempsey and his players that
I like Central Catholic too. Walpock hasn't seen this.
No.
They play a tough conference in the Western Buckeye League. It's not the Catholic high school league that Central Catholic's going up against every week, and they played the St. Ed's. They played the big boys through the years.
Walsh, too many to name.
Right. You name them, they've played them. Because nobody else will play them in the non-conference.
No, absolutely. I remember in 2012 we played at Central Catholic in the regional semis against Bryan. In 2012, we had a good team, and Greg Dempsey, was our host at Central Catholic. And sometime during pregame, I'm walking to the locker room. He said, "Hey, because we had an opening for 2013, which we eventually filled with Parma Heights Holy Name. At that time, we hadn't filled it. Coach Dempsey says, "Hey, Coach Strock, I see you guys are open week 4 next year. So are we. Would you have any interest?" And I said, "Coach Dempsey, let me get back to you on that." And he did, because nobody would play him.
Yeah.
And, we weren't going to play him, but we played St. V and Kettering Alter. And so, we've played those guys, but I didn't want any of that smoke. But I'm telling you, with Caleb Moyer, Walpock has a puncher's chance.
They got to keep him clean.
Got to keep him clean. And even though his feet, he's very elusive, I don't know how much you want him trying to scramble for yardage. That would be, hey, slide when you get what you can get. Seriously, there's no shame in that. I think Walpock's going to need a couple turnovers, don't you, Lynn?
Yes, I would agree.
A couple bounces.
I would agree.
But I do. I think Walpock has a chance in this game. And if they get a couple breaks, they could get it done.
I'll take the Irish in that matchup as well. And one more question for you. Preston Frizzell headed to Notre Dame next season for the Fighting Irish. Does he have more yards or Caden Page?
Caden Page. I'm telling you, and I could be delusional.
It may depend on how the game goes. If Central gets a lead, they're going to bleed the clock with the running game like they always do.
And that's a fair point. All things, say it's close and both teams have to unleash it all night long. I'm going to say Caden Page just because I'm maybe giving Walpock a little too much credit offensively against that defense of Central. I am very strongly convicted about Walpock's potential in this game. I could be all wet, but I guess, like you said, they've dreamed about this, and this is their big stage. This is their chance.
And they have them at home.
They have them at home, and they had state championship caliber teams where they run into Trotwood Madison. They just couldn't ever get over the hump. If they're ever going to get over it, buddy, it's Friday night.
Yeah, I agree with that. Moving on in Division III, Region 11, number 4 Dresden Tri-Valley, 9-2 at number 1 Columbus Bishop Watterson, who is 10-0. Steubenville is the 3 seed, 8-2 at Newark Licking Valley. Newark Licking Valley, 11-0, going into that regional semifinal.
Bishop Watterson, until somebody proves otherwise, you always got to give Steubenville a fighting chance, even though they're not quite.
Watterson, the defending state champs in D3, knocked off Central Catholic in the state title game a year ago.
Yep. So you got to like Watterson there. Yeah.
I'm going to go Watterson and Steubenville and Watterson winning Region 11.
Okay. That's hard to argue.
Region 12, rounding out Division 3, number 4 Jackson, 9-2 at number 1 London, and number 3 Hamilton-Baden, 10-1 at number 2 Tip City, Tippecanoe, coming up on Friday night.
I'm riding with the Baden Rams all the way through that region. I've got to be loyal.
Okay.
Give me Baden.
Okay. I like that. Division 4, Region 13, number 4 Beloit West Branch, 10-1 at number 1 Perry, who is 9-2, and number 3 Mentor Lake Catholic, 9-2 at number 2 Cleveland Glenville. The Tarblooders 8-3 going into that matchup.
Yeah, that's all Glenville for my money. I did read something, Lynn, and there's so much out there anymore. You don't even know what's real and not, but there's been some talk about Glenville possibly combining with another school.
Interesting.
And I think that looks pretty legit, like the possibility. So the days of Glenville being Division 4 may be over. I could see them in the future, if that comes to fruition, being more of a 2-ish, where there's a lot of folks that would say that's where they belong anyway. We won't get into all that, but we'll see what happens with that. It'd make a lot of Division 4 schools happy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Glenville's got to be the favorite there in Region 13, and maybe the favorite in all of Division 4. Division 4 has got some big-time programs this season playing for a state championship. Some of those in our local region of Region 14. One of those, Lima Bath. They will go to number 1 Shelby, who is 11-0. Lima Bath 9-2. The other matchup in Region 14 is number 6 Sandusky Perkins, 9-3 at number 2 Galleon, who is 10-1 going into that one. But should be a couple of pretty good games here in Region 14 coming up on Friday night. The game that we're going to keep our eyes on is Bath at Shelby. Bath 9-2, 39.1 points per game, 24.8 allowed. Shelby 11-0, 45.9 points per game. Now, they play good defense, too. You always think of Braden DeVito, but they play good defense. 8.8 points per game allowed for the Whippets this season. Fantastic 50 like Shelby by 27. Dub stat like Shelby by 24. These two teams have never met in the playoff era. Shelby allowing just 156.1 yards per game.
Gosh.
They've only allowed 623 yards passing, as foes are 63 of 153 for 8 touchdowns, but been picked off 11 times. They have more interceptions than TDs allowed passing. Lexington is the only team that has attempted over 20 passes, though, against Shelby this season. So they played a lot of running teams, but they've done a pretty good job against running teams as well. Well, foes have 1,561 yards on 463 plays against Shelby this season. Sam Gwertz leads Shelby with 105 tackles, 18 of those for loss. Michael Shepard has 7 sacks, and Carter Kessler has 6. A former Napoleon Wildcat is Carter. Whippets have 1,997 yards rushing on 247 attempts and are 164 of 223 passing for 2,653 yards. Here's maybe another quarterback that fits into your question that you asked a little bit ago. Braden DeVito, 155 of 209 passing, 2,541 yards, 32 touchdowns. He's ran for 913 and 21 more scores. Gavin Baker has 369 yards rushing. Luke Blevins, 300 yards rushing. And Travis Stone has 294 on the ground as they add punch to this Shelby offense. Brady Bowman, 64 catches, 1,285 yards, 19 TDs receiving. Shepard has added 384 yards receiving and 8 TDs. Braden DeVito, 4th all-time in passing yards in Ohio with 12,201 and 14th in passing TDs with 117. Only Maddie and Ben Mock have thrown for more yards in their careers, along with Worcester Triway's Parker Carmichael. As Braden DeVito, one of the guys, a possible Mr. Football candidate.
Yeah, Lynn, that does lend itself to the question I asked earlier, referring to Caleb Moyer's 85% completion. I said I'd be surprised if anybody with that many attempts was over 65%. DeVito, that adds up to 74%, and that's gaudy as well.
2,541 yards and 32 TDs, and he's also ran for 913.
You mentioned Carter Kessler, 6'5", 235, defensive end, tight end. you mentioned former Napoleon Wildcat. He was there as a freshman, played football and basketball, and then went to Mansfield. Now he's at Shelby, committed to West Virginia. I think he's a 3 or 4-star, committed to West Virginia. And, you think offense when you think of Shelby. Their defense is lights out, man. And 2-3 weeks ago when we thought this matchup could happen, I really liked Bath to have a chance.
But can they play enough defense?
The answer is
That's
no.
been their bugaboo. Now, they've scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
Didn't put up a ton against Bellevue a week ago.
They didn't.
A little surprised by that. But Zach Walsh and crew, they're going to have to really step it up. They're going to have to go to another level and another level defensively this week against this Shelby offense.
No, Lynn, you're 100% right. And if you look at Bath physically, their stature, they've got dudes. I mean, that defensive end we saw, number 0, Jiminy Christmas. Davenport, and then 99, the other one. I mean, those guys are big-time players. I just don't know if it's I don't know what it is, but they give up a lot of points. They're going to have to score almost every time they have the ball Friday night. And we know how fast they like to go offensively. This may be a game where you use that play clock a little bit. I don't think you want to get in a shootout with Shelby at that pace. I don't think so. But I like Shelby. I mean, 27 and 24, so 25-ish points. I'd say Shelby on paper's a 3-touchdown favorite, 21-point favorite.
Would Bath have to score in the 50s to win this game, or 45 plus?
Yeah, I think the bottom line is Shelby's going to get more than 35, and so Bath's just going to have to score with them. If Bath wins, it'll be 53-49, 55-54. But Shelby, I mean, they're not going to surrender.
No.
Those kind of yards and points.
Yeah, they've scored 56, 37, 49, 45, 48, 42, 52, 42, 55, 37, and 42 have the Whippets this season. Put up 37 against Lexington in week 2, and then 37 against the Marion Harding team that is 3-7 back in week number 10. Don't know how locked in they were in those games,
right.
And they scored 45 against Galleon, another team that's still alive and could be a rematch coming up next week, 45-34 over Galleon back in week number 4 for the Whippets.
Yeah. I'd love to see Bath hang in there. It'd be a fun game to watch from an entertainment perspective if it's a shootout back and forth. I just don't know if Bath can score with them. But we'll see. The matchup I really like, Lynn, is that other game in Division 4, Region 14, Galleon-Perkins. That's a big-time matchup. And I lean Perkins in that one. I really do. Now, you see how tough Galleon played Shelby, and that gets your attention. But Perkins right now is absolutely clicking, and I like Perkins in an absolute nail-biter at Galleon. I really do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great game, and I'll take the Pirates too.
Would you?
Yep, I'll take Perkins in that matchup.
I think that's going to be one when we get a fourth quarter score. It's going to be a possession either way. I really believe that. But Perkins is locked in right now, man.
Yeah, they have an outstanding team, and boy, it's going to be tough to stop. Not a lot of weaknesses with that team, but uphill climb in Division 4 this season. Folks are going to have to run into.
It is. And Lynn, I don't know that Perkins had to show their full arsenal. They actually, when you look at it, they were pretty vanilla against Napoleon, just inside runs and then throw it kind of when they wanted to. They didn't have to show their hand, really, because they were so dominant. But, Division 4, my goodness. You think you win your region, you feel good about things, and then you know who's lurking. Glenville's lurking. So
yeah.
And Shelby's a team, Lynn. Even back when I was coaching, Shelby was always a player in Division 4. I mean, always. I'd be curious if they've had a worse record than 7-3 in the last decade. I don't think people realize how consistently good they've been, even pre-Braden DeVito.
Yeah, I remember Braden Martin, our good friend at Martin RPI, when he was a freshman, was already telling me he's going to be Mr. Ohio.
He was.
So he might be
That's
at the end of this season. Then you also have Indian Valley. We haven't even touched on Indian Valley in Division 4, the defending state champions.
Yeah.
We talked about all these other teams, Grady Kinsey, and got to deal with him at some point too, probably. They have Plain City Jonathan Alder in the Region 15 semifinals, Chillicothe Unioto, and number 1 New Lexington in the other matchup. In the 4-1 matchup, New Lexington is the number 1 seed, and Indian Valley is the 2 seed.
You know, we know that Grady Kinsey's durable. I mean, the guy's a tank. He's not human. And he is so much of their offense. I wonder what percent of their offense he is. I don't want to disrespect anybody else by throwing out a number, but he's over 50% of their offense. If something happened to him, heaven forbid, that would change their complexion dramatically. Mm-hmm. But again, he's like a piece of steel.
Yes.
And so
he's an Iron Man.
He is an Iron Man.
Yeah. Region 16, Southwest Ohio, the Cincinnati area. Number 4, Cincinnati Taft, 11-0 at number 1, Cincinnati Indian Hill, who is also 11-0. And number 3, Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy, 10-1, is at Valley View, who is 10-1 as well this season in the 2-3 matchup.
You know, Indian Hill's number 1, and so I wanted to look at what Fantastic 50 thought about Indian Hill and Taft, and I checked because it's what I thought it might be. Taft's a favorite, according to Fantastic 50, by 9 or 10 points, so Indian Hill's the 1 seed. They've had an unbelievable season, but I think Taft may be the team to come out of that region.
Shermantown Valley View's coach, Matt King, played linebacker at Defiance College, and this Valley View, they're a rugged bunch.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah, they're a rugged bunch.
Yes, they are. And I'll tell you, all I need to see from Valley View is they beat Wyoming last week. And, their coach is a friend of mine, Aaron Hancock at Wyoming. They have not lost many football games in the last decade. Valley View beat them by 10. Valley View's pretty good.
Going to take a break, come back, and talk about Division 5 coming up on Friday night. Ashball Aerial is a fully licensed commercial drone company providing aerial media for commercial, industrial, and agricultural clients throughout Northwest Ohio. Want a different perspective for your events, construction projects, businesses, and more? Call 419-966-3202 or check them out at ashballaerial.com or look us up on Facebook.
High school seniors, uncertain that college is right for you? Concerned about the cost of higher education? At the Gherkin Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods even without a degree. That's a good living straight out of high school with no tuition debt. Starting pay between recent college grads and those with high school diplomas is closer than you might think. So if you enjoy teamwork, working outdoors, and being part of something meaningful, consider your options at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store off Route 24 on State Route 109, just south of Liberty Center, now has 88 unleaded fuel and is your one-stop shop for fuel, food, drinks, and much, much more, including locally raised meats and home-baked goods. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store is proud to support Black Swamp Football and is the host of the Black Swamp Football podcast, football show, and Saturday mornings Rise and Rewind. Stop in and see Glenn and Greg today and make American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store a part of your everyday routine. Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies. Thank you to Ashball Aerial, the Gherkin Companies, and also American Freedom Energy here in Liberty Center. Gracious hosts are Glenn and Greg Badenhop for our podcast, our football shows, and Saturday mornings Rise and Rewind. And don't forget, if you need some help tracking a deer, Ashball Aerial can get their drone out and get you fixed up. $25 off the price if you mention Black Swamp Football when you get a hold of them. Go to their Facebook page, Ashball Aerial.
I can tell you this, for what it's worth. I don't know anyone more ethical or high character than Trevor Ashball. So anything that Ashball Aerial, any service that they provide, I cannot think of a more reputable individual than Trevor Ashball. I had him in school, coached him. I mean, as classy and high character as they come. So reach out to them. They'll take care of you, whatever it is you need.
Yeah, I saw he was up in the UP with his drone. I think something to do with the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Ooh.
I saw that on his Facebook page, and he had a picture of a couple of bear cubs. He was flying his drone around in the woods and found a couple of black bear cubs.
No kidding.
Yeah. So if you go to his Facebook page, you can see it. Saw that today. Pretty cool.
Yeah, he's.
So if you have any doubts that he can find a deer, well, he can find black bears.
Yeah. Yeah, he was up there for the Edmund
I
Fitzgerald
think so.
thing.
I thought that's what it said. Yeah, I thought that's what it said.
That's a whole subject that I'm fascinated with.
Are you?
Oh, my gosh. I've gone down so many rabbit holes reading about Lake Superior. Like, I'm scared to death of Lake Superior after researching the Edmund Fitzgerald. Unbelievable.
Why is that?
Unbelievable. Just the wide open water. That sea gets angry, man. That lake gets angry, and it's brutal. It's brutal. Yeah. Lake Superior scares me to death. Lake Erie, not as much. Lake Superior, phew.
Well, Lake Erie's not too deep compared to Lake Superior.
No, that's unbelievable. You look at graphics that show you how deep Lake Superior is compared to like Lake Erie. It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Scares you even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
It never ends.
Yeah, you're swimming in that lake. You'll don't know what's down there.
No, you don't. I don't want to find out either. I'll tell you that.
Huh.
So, yeah, Ashball Aerial. And then you mentioned Glenn and Greg Badenhop. The final, it's always kind of bittersweet. The final tailgate.
That is. That's right. That would be the final one.
Yeah.
Now, they may have something for the state semifinal or the regional final and state championship if they get to that point, the Liberty Center Tigers. I don't know. They may have an after party here. I'm not sure.
Their wheels are always turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg's the master marketer, and then Glenn just sits back and imparts his wisdom.
I think Carly maybe is
you go.
The marketing genius
That's probably
behind
true.
this whole organization, possibly.
That's probably
Sorry,
true.
Greg. Don't want to let the secret out, but
He'd probably admit it.
yeah. Outlaw Barbecue will be here Friday night before the Liberty Center Liberty Benton clash in Region 18. You can get your food before or after the game, along with your beverages and snacks of choice.
This place will be hopping, and we'd encourage our friends from Liberty Benton to stop in as well.
Yes, LB folks, please stop in. You can't miss it. Convenience store right before you get into town, and they will have the buses taking folks
The
over
shuttle.
there from American Freedom Energy over to the game.
And if our Liberty Benton folks have never had Outlaw Barbecue, that's worth the trip in and of itself.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep. Mr. Barbara, I'm expecting my sausage this week. You can just leave it here with one of the, well, I should be careful.
Yeah.
Hide it somewhere if you do bring me some of your Italian sausages, please.
They'll be here. He'll have that.
Yeah, and you can, if you want to cook some here, you can. There's plenty of room out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a pretty nice night on Friday. 50s or 60s.
It is. High 50s, and then compared to today,
Yeah.
yeah, Friday looks pretty pleasant for week
Twice
14.
as warm as what it was Monday.
Yeah. Wow, I'll tell you what, that wind.
I wonder what the Barbaras will have for their tailgate. I'm curious.
I think they'll mix it up. I don't think we'll see the same thing we saw 2 weeks ago at Delta. I really don't. May just be traditional brats or burgers, maybe even a crock pot of sloppy joes.
That's what you wish for because you're a plain Jane.
Simple. Yeah,
You didn't touch those Italian sausages because they had peppers and onions on them.
Way too many different colors in that pan. Now the sausages themselves looked really good.
Yeah.
A lot of color in there,
Yeah.
which most people would say is
There's
good.
a lot of people concerned about your
I know.
food choices because you're so picky.
I know.
What's your problem?
Yeah,
They asked me, what's wrong with Strock?
I know. I've had some people call me out. I've gotten some messages and some texts and things like that, but they know where I stand. That's a hot button with me. It's a hot button with me that people got to be so exotic. There's absolutely no need for it. And in fact, it upsets me, if I'm being honest.
Well, Chris Barber, I'm interested in what you're having at your tailgate on Friday. I may have to stop by.
Yeah, I'd love to stop by and at least visit again.
Yeah.
They had a
Maybe our game cast, we don't know yet. There's a lot of folks trying to attend the Liberty Benton and Liberty Center game this week, so we're not sure where we're going to be at. We have some other options as well.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Yep.
The bottom line is this, Lynn. No matter where we end up, we can't go wrong. No. There are so many good matchups that I'm wide open. I'm fine with wherever we decide.
Yeah. Liberty Benton, 5th seed, 12-0, 47 points per game, 5 points per game allowed. Liberty Center also 11-0, 49.6 points per game, giving up just 4.9. Fantastic 50 likes the Liberty Center Tigers by 5. Dub Stat likes Liberty Center by 4. LC won 35-0 last year and 41-7 over LB in the 2022 playoffs. LB won in the 2012 playoffs 16-7. We've seen both of these teams a couple times this season at least. Coach, the caveat all year was, would Liberty Benton be healthy, because they don't have the Liberty Center depth, and that is a little bit of a cause for concern for the Eagles coming in here on Friday night.
Well, it is, and I just don't know how much. People can say whatever. Well, it's a team game. Next man up. Yeah, I get it. But how many times can you say next man up? This is Division 5 football. We're not talking St. Ed's. This is Division 5. Now, Liberty Center, fortunately for them, they can say next man up a lot more often than other schools can.
Yeah.
So the elephant in the room is this matchup looks different now than it did a month ago. It just does. Liberty Benton still has a formidable offensive and defensive line. They've got outstanding team speed. They've got a dynamic quarterback, Connor Barbara, that I think flies under the radar. I just don't know if they're going to have enough firepower to do what they like to do. Liberty Center, what they like to do fits in a nice small package a lot easier than Liberty Benton. They like to do a lot of different things. In order to do what LB does, you've got to have certain guys. And when you don't have those guys and your package shrinks, advantage Liberty Center.
Yeah, I would say big advantage Liberty Center now.
Yeah, me too.
With the injury situation that Liberty Benton is dealing with. And, honestly, Liberty Center could roll through this this final month here without much of a challenge in Division 5 this season, in my opinion.
No,
I don't think if they win this week against Liberty Benton, I don't think Genoa or Worcester Tri-Way is going to give them much problem. Wheelersburg and Cardinal Mooney are probably the only two that can really do it, in my opinion. I don't know. Poland Seminary's lost a couple games. I'm not sure that they have enough. I would favor Mooney from what I know. They're in Region 17 and Region 20. I don't think there's any problem for a potential Liberty Center team there. And Region 19 would be Wheelersburg.
Yes.
Which beat Ironton. Not a full deck of Ironton players when they played them.
Everything you said, Lynn, I'm agree. I'm on board with. The concern for Liberty Benton in this game is just being able to score enough points to win, because even though Liberty Benton's defense is really good, they're going to be a couple guys down. That changes things. Even say you have a solid night and hold Liberty Center to 28. Can you score 29 or more with
they're only giving up 4.9. And the teams that have been able to beat them, the Cary team 4 years ago, South Range, Perry, and Ironton. I mean, they've had world class or national acclaimed players for them.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill climb for Liberty Benton. 35-0 a year ago. That's a big gap to make up, even with your full deck.
Full deck. Yeah.
So the wild card to me in this region, Lynn, is Tri-Way. Liberty Center most years always has a good game in the regional at some point, right? A couple years ago, was it Valley View? Not Valley View.
State semis.
Yeah.
State semis.
Valley View played them tough in the semis.
Yep.
Oak Harbor last year played them tough.
Coldwater somewhat tough in the regionals. That would have been, I think, 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago.
And then we'd have to go back, 4 or 5 years for that Elmwood game.
Yep.
So there's always someone before the state finals that at least digs in and slugs it out with Liberty. Is it Liberty Benton Friday?
Yeah.
and then Liberty Center rolls next week? Or is it Triway, a team that we don't know much about? Or, could Genoa?
Careful, your good friend Bill Fisher listens. They're playing Genoa this week.
Yeah. I agree. But, Triway's that wild card to me. I feel like I have a feel for Genoa. That's going to be a good game. Genoa Triway. If we're picking that one, I'm going to go Triway.
We're picking it. We'll get to it here in a second.
Okay. But Triway's that wild card that intrigues me. So Liberty Center is going to be motivated here Friday night. I'm telling you. The higher the stakes, the more they kind of get up, because they
haven't played a game like this kind of all year.
No, they don't have to get up.
I mean, you could say the Patrick Henry team that came in there, but I think they may have their antennas up even a little more for this one.
I think they will.
So I would pick Liberty Center.
Yeah, I've got to pick Liberty Center. I do, whether we cover the game or not. Liberty's and I would have. I think you'd have trouble finding anyone who would lean Liberty Benton just based on what we know.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
But Liberty Benton's well coached, for folks that don't know.
Yep.
And they've got continuity on that staff. Yep.
Veteran coaching staff, no doubt about that.
Yep.
Also in Region 18, Genoa, as we mentioned, going to Worcester Triway. Both teams 10-1. The Comets 38.7 points per game, giving up 19.1. Triway giving up 14.5, scoring 35.5. Fantastic 50 likes Triway by 13. Dubstat likes Triway by 9.5. These two teams never met in the playoff era. Genoa, first trip to the regional semi since 2018. The Titans of Triway have thrown for 2,430 yards on 174 of 288 passing. They've ran for 1,531 yards on 317 attempts. Luke Starr, 174 of 288, 2,430 yards, 28 TDs, while running for 641 yards and 10 touchdowns. Leading receiver, Bruin Flinner, 63 catches, 917 yards, 9 TDs. Brant Clippinger has caught 38 passes, 538 yards, and 8 scores. And Ali Krupp has 42 snags for 578 yards and 6 TDs. You already gave away your pick. You like Triway.
Yeah, I do. And Bill Fisher's a buddy of mine. He's not
been happy with you. I talked to him a few weeks. He's not happy with you, Strock. He's not happy with me either. But you didn't show up that night, so I had to face the brunt of all the angst over there in the Genoa community. They don't like us very much over there.
That's true. Bill Fisher's a funny guy too, man. Some of these coaches are so locked in and just maniacal and things like that. Bill Fisher's just a good all-around person. He's a funny dude. I went to a clinic with him in Bucyrus years ago, and he's hilarious. But he'll be focused Friday night. But I like the Titans. At least they used to be called the Titans.
The Titans.
Okay.
They still are.
Yeah.
I'm taking Genoa.
Are you?
Yep, I got Genoa in that matchup.
Okay. I am absolutely guessing. I'm guessing. And this is one where kind of like Lipsick Mohawk last week on paper looked like could be a good game, and Lipsick just undressed them. This could be one where the Comets go on the road and roll. They could. I have absolutely no idea how this one's going to play out. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised Genoa's favored or Triway's favored by that much in both those categories. I'm surprised by that.
I got the Comets.
Okay. I'll be curious to follow that one because, like I said, is Triway that wild card in that region that because they're quite a ways away from us.
Yep. Out of sight, out of mind a little bit for us.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in Division 5 this week, Region 17, number 4 Garrettsville Garfield, 9-2 at Youngstown Cardinal Mooney, who is the top seed, and 8-2. Give me the spread on that game if you can from Fantastic 50 Coach.
Where are we at?
Region 17, Garfield and Mooney.
17, Garfield. They like Mooney by 30.
Okay. Don't think that much of a challenge in that matchup.
No.
And then Poland Seminary against number 2 Girard. Girard is 11-0. Poland Seminary 9-2. Give me the spread on that one.
Yeah, I looked this up a minute ago. Girard is a slight favorite.
Are they? Okay.
They're a slight favorite. Picked to win by 4 over Poland Seminary.
Okay. All right.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
Talked about Region 18. Region 19, number 4, Barnesville, 9-2 at number 1, Wheelersburg. And then number 3, Nelsonville York, 11-0, is at number 2, Columbus Academy, who is 9-2 there in Region 19.
Wheelersburg, Lynn, only a 4-point
Are they?
favorite
So
over Barnesville.
Barnesville? They
Yes.
like Barnesville a little bit.
They like Barnesville quite a bit.
Who has Barnesville played? If
Yeah.
you have their schedule right there in front of you.
I do. They played Bel Air, who we've talked about several times. Their losses are to Coal City Independence in West Virginia, who is 8-1, and also another West Virginia team, Charleston George Washington, who's 7-2. Buckeye Local Bel Air, Byesville Meadowbrook. Boy, anybody from Ohio, they've killed everybody. 48-7, 56-0, 40-0, 51-21, 35-7, 34-7, 43-14. I mean, they've rolled over the
Does it
Ohio
give their,
teams.
their strength of schedule what you have pulled up right there, their resume? They're number 9 in Division 5 in the ratings, according to Fantastic 50. It was up a little bit higher that you just had there.
Yep, number 9 out of
Number 9.
106 in Division 5.
Okay.
Number 4 out of 27 in Region 19.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like Wheelersburg's pretty good.
Wheelersburg is pretty good. We know they beat Ironton. They beat the Jackson Ironmen 17-7. Jackson's 9-2. They beat Cincinnati McNicholas, who had a nice season, beat them 10-7. None of the other opponents really ring a bell much, but that win over Ironton's a big deal.
Right. Big rivalry game down there.
And they beat a 8-3 team 52-7.
Okay.
So I don't know. I would have to. I would just have to say Wheelersburg just because.
Yeah.
You know, but Barnesville, a fantastic 50. They
Usually right there.
They're right there.
Region 20, number 8, Richwood North Union, 8-4 at number 5, Carlisle, 10-2. And then number 11, Cincinnati Marymount, 8-4 at number 2, Lewistown Indian Lake, as there's an 8, a 5, and 11 seed remaining there in Region 21, and that's maybe the most open region of all of the regions there in Division 5 this season.
Yeah, our good friend Scott Army is officiating the Indian Lake Marymount game.
Is he really?
He is.
Okay.
Just got his assignment on Sunday. He shot me a message. Wanted to know if I knew anything about either
Headed
team.
down to Lewistown.
Yes.
Is Scott Army for that one. Division 5, Region 21. The matchups there in the regional semifinal round this week. Number 5, Smithville, 10-2 at number 1, Kirtland, 11-0 are the Hornets. And number 7, Sugar Creek, Garraway, 9-2 at number 6, Dalton. In Region 21. Region 22, we have a couple of area teams in action this week. Number 9, Cary, 8-4 at number 4, Paulding, who's 11-0, and at number 3, Archbishop, 9-2 at number 2, Hopewell Loudon, coming up in the Region 22 playoff picture this week. So going to start with the Cary and Paulding matchup as we break down that one a little bit more. Cary 8-4, 30.2 points per game, giving up 13.5. Paulding 11-0, 38.8 points per game, giving up 11.9 points per game. Fantastic 50 likes Cary by 13, and Dubstat likes Cary by 18. These two teams have never met. Cary has attempted just 89 passes this season, ran for 3,085 yards on 527 attempts. Mace Puckett, 217 carries, 1,272 yards, 9 TDs. Dash Puckett, 884 yards, 11 touchdowns on 104 attempts. They lead that Cary brutal round game. The Blue Devils have allowed only 658 yards rushing on 332 attempts this season. 1,298 yards allowed passing, as opponents are 107 and 227. They have 33 sacks as a team. Louis Watkins, 83 tackles, 9 sacks. Dash Puckett, also a force on defense. He's 6'2", 215, 114 tackles, 6 sacks. Mace Puckett, 6', 200 junior. He has a team best 116 stops. And then Trip Phoenix, 4 interceptions for the Blue Devils. On the Paulding side, they average 119.9 yards per rushing and 231.4 through the air. Avery Cooper leading the rushing attack for Paulding, 634 yards on 128 carries and 14 touchdowns. Colt Hunt is 141 and 243 passing, 2,418 yards, 29 TDs. Jordan Mans over 1,000 yards now receiving, 1,002. He has 11 TDs on 45 snags. Blake Roanhouse, 683 yards, 12 TDs on 45 receptions. And Jalen Mans has chipped in 607 yards receiving on 30 receptions. Paulding has allowed just 2.5 yards per rush this season and only 203.9 yards per game. Jalen Mans, 126 tackles, 28 for loss. Avery Cooper, 80 stops, and 15 for loss. Paulding, coming off their first playoff win in school history, gets to host another playoff game against a historical, tradition-rich power in Ohio and the Cary Blue Devils, who have 2 state championships. A rugged bunch headed to Paulding County on Friday night.
Well, something's got to give. Something's got to give. The unstoppable Cary rushing attack and the Paulding run defense that you can't penetrate. Something's got to give. Because Cary isn't going to come in and say, oh, they've got a good rushing defense. We got to throw it 30 times. They're going to pound it. And Paulding, Jordan and Jalen Mans. Jalen Mans, 126 tackles. Did I hear that right?
Yes. Jalen Mans, 126, 28 for loss. Avery Cooper, 80 tackles, 15 for loss.
15 TFLs. Boy, Paulding, you think athleticism when you think of Jordan and Jalen Mans. You think, they're just athletes. I'm telling you, those two are physical. I mean, they are physical. You put them down in the box and they will smack you. But boy, Puckett and Trip Phoenix, and Cary has just gotten better and better and better going forward. This is, I think, a tough pick. Paulding at home, all they've done all year is prove people wrong.
Yeah.
All year long. Can they do it again?
Cary will get in that old Maryland eye.
Yes, they will.
And just boom, 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 boom.
Yes, they will.
Car wreck.
It'll be car wreck.
3-4 yards every time.
And those guys from Paulding, though, Lynn, they'll stick their faces in there.
Yep.
And here's my question. Can Paulding force them to throw it? Can they get him behind the chains? Can Paulding get Cary in 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 6, 5, 4? Can they get him in 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 2? If they can, Paulding can win this game. If they can't, you got to like Cary. I struggled with this because I've picked against Paulding a few times this year.
So have I.
And
against Fairview both times.
Me too.
But Fairview didn't try to run the ball on them.
No. Fairview refuses sometimes.
Yeah.
And yes. I don't like that. But yes, they refuse sometimes. What kind
of defense is Jim Menzie and crew going to run?
I know.
You got to switch it up a little bit. It's a big contrasting in styles from a week ago in this. And can you've seen Cary in person.
Yep.
Can you just in 1 week be prepared for what you're going to see? Or is it different when you run into a team like that? And they'll get into a pistol with a couple wings and a single back as well quite a bit.
It's hard. It's hard to because you can't simulate it. You can't practice against it because you get guys hurt if you tried to practice against it all week. So I think if you're Paulding, you load up the box. I mean, obviously. And what I would do is your interior line, all they're doing is submarining and making piles because they have some of the best tacklers in Northwest Ohio behind them. So all those guys have to do, if you're a nose tackle, you don't even have to make a single tackle in this game. All you got to do is make a pile, muck it up and let Mans and who's the other real good defensive? Not
Roanhouse.
Yeah, Roanhouse.
Or Cooper, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Avery Cooper. You let Avery Cooper and Jalen Mans just clean it up. And also Jordan Mans can too. That's all you do. Make a pile, muck it up. If you can't stand up and try to engage them and things like that, you've just got to boom. And then if they do throw some play action at you and your defensive line's on their bellies, then it is what it is. It is what it is. You have your edge man try to contain Trip Phoenix, and
he's got some speed.
Oh no, I know he does. He has since 5th grade, and he's a winner. He's a gamer. Paulding has a chance in this game. Paulding has a chance. Something in me can see Paulding stymieing that run game. Something in me can see him stymieing it. But I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to take a beating if I'm wrong. I'm going with Carey. I'm going with Carey.
Do you have a reasoning behind your pick?
Just their style, just their run game, their stubbornness, their belief in just pounding the rock. I'm going with Paulding or Carey. I'm sorry. I'm going with Carey. Yeah, I love the way they operate, man. Love the way they operate. Oh, Paulding might torch him. Jordan Mans might go off.
Could.
He might have 4 touchdown catches. And problem is, if they don't get him behind the chains and get him off schedule, Paulding's possessions.
They can just run the whole clock in a quarter. 8, 9, 10-minute drive is no problem for Carey.
No, and that's what they want. And so Paulding now, they may have a quarter where they have 1 or 2 possessions, seriously. And if you're Carey, that's what you want. And it gets frustrating, and then maybe
you can't get behind Carey.
You can't.
But they're a team on October 17th, lost 29-28 to Mohawk.
I know. Who Lipsick just dismantled last week.
Because I feel like sometimes we get a different Carey team from week to week. I don't know.
I know.
Maybe we're not going to get the Carey team that rolled Patrick Henry.
I know.
I mean, they dominated PH.
I know they did.
Wasn't really as close as the score maybe indicates.
No. That Mohawk game, in Jim Menzie, they did.
Paul Loudon sanded them 30-7 in week 1.
Yeah.
Galleon sanded them 41-14 in week 1. 6-0 against LCC in week 3. And then you look at their wins. Upper Sandusky, nothing to get too excited about. Seneca East, team that's 8-4. Winford, Buckeye Central, Colonel Crawford 11-1. Okay, they beat them. They beat Bucyrus, who's 1-9 until that Patrick Henry victory. Maybe didn't have a signature win, and then they slug it out with Margaretta last week and just drilled Margaretta 35-7. But they're like a Columbus Grove team. Carey is. They always start kind of slow, and then by the end of the season, you don't want to see them.
Nope. So you get yourself in trouble if you go back and get fooled by maybe that Mohawk game. Now, if you're Jim Menzie, and I know they have, guarantee you, you look at that Mohawk game, and that's one of the films when you're trading films. Hey, we want that Mohawk game. What did Mohawk do? And I don't know what they did.
Well,
but
with the YouTube these days, you can find about every game anyway.
Yeah, you can. There's not many secrets.
How much does the Paulding schedule concern you? Because that's a talk in some groups that I'm in throughout since Friday night that have, and even last week.
Yeah.
Paulding's schedule. We know it wasn't great.
No, it wasn't. They didn't play many teams that are going to try to do what Carey's going to try to do.
Ayersville, and that was that was a white knuckler.
And that's their schedule has concerned me all year, Lynn, until they beat Fairview the second time. And then I'm like, okay, all right, throw that out the window. But styles, I think, matter. Playing Fairview's a lot different than playing Carey from a schematic standpoint.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Carey, and I could live to regret it. I'd love to see Paulding win another one. I'd love a Paulding Archbold regional final, and there's a couple reasons. But Archbold basketball fans took all the Paulding seats a couple years ago at the Grand Canyon, even though they were labeled Paulding. Blue Streak fans filled it up. Paulding folks weren't happy. And so there's a little history there that I kind of witnessed firsthand.
Okay.
It was pretty hot that
Something
night.
going on between the fans, huh?
Oh, it got kind of ugly. And I was there for it. But has nothing to do with that matchup. But I'd like to see that matchup because they've met in the districts the last couple of years in basketball. And if you'd have told people 5 years ago Paulding and Archbold are going to meet in a regional final in 2025, they'd have laughed at you.
Yeah.
And
the
then,
job Jim Menzies done.
coach of the
I know a guy that liked to be playing in this game is Jack Woods. Remember that linebacker Paulding had a year ago?
He's just he probably still gets lathered up on game day. He'll be at that game. Jack Woods will be at that game, and that's gonna be a dandy.
The Cary people, they're still seething from me picking Liberty Center over them in 2021 when they just annihilated LC at Bowling Green. They didn't like me much. They wanted to hang me.
Do you have
Cary folks did.
Do you have
Paulding people hate me this year because I picked against them twice and they've won.
Well, here's the way I look at it.
But you've won when I picked against you.
Same with me. So that's the way I look at it. I'm doing Paulding a favor here. I'm doing Paulding a favor.
Looking at. I'm taking Cary.
Are you?
I'm taking Cary.
Does Paulding have a chance?
They do.
Yep.
They do have a chance. Absolutely, they have a chance. I think they're going to have to hit some big plays.
Yep.
And can they get Cary behind the sticks? It's simple, but can you? My concern is they haven't seen this. They have not seen this.
They haven't. And
now you can watch it on film all you want, but
no.
When you have half a ton of dudes barreling into your defenders on every play.
Every play.
Yeah.
Every play. I think I'd be surprised if Jim Menzie and Paulding, they've done a nice job scheming, Paulding has, against everybody they've played. Mm-hmm. I'd be shocked. You know, everybody knows, you see teams blitz on passing downs, right? I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Paulding rolling the dice, pinning their ears back, and just run blitzing.
Well, Cary's only thrown 89 passes all year. You don't have to be concerned too much about the passing game, but does Strip Phoenix keep it? And
they'll make you pay. They're well coached, too.
The Mans boys are the only ones that are going to catch him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They can run with him.
They can run with him, but he's greasy in the open field, too.
Yeah.
He can.
But can Tripp take away Mans when he's in the secondary?
I don't know if anybody can take away Mans in the secondary.
Just asking.
Yeah. I don't know that anybody can.
He's a big-time track athlete is Tripp Phoenix.
Yeah, Tripp is. Jordan Mans, though, I'm telling you, he's a cut above.
Yeah.
Love it.
Be interesting to see how this one plays out. Listen to our good friend Kenny Stabler, 99.7 WKSD. He'll have to call that one, or My Sports Live over in Paulding County. I believe Scoop Miller and Brady Stabler will be on the call of that one.
They'll do a great job,
watch
too.
The video. You have some great options there.
Oh, yeah, it'd be tough to choose. There's all good ones you mentioned.
I talked to our good friend Kenny Stabler today, and he's excited about that one.
Should be.
Yeah.
All of Paulding County should be jacked for that one.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be.
Yep.
Exciting times for what Jim Menzie and crew has done there. And, boy, be nice to see a Archbold and Paulding regional championship. Maybe at Defiance or Napoleon.
Oh, Archbold Paulding at Napoleon, because I'm selfish, would be, that'd be awesome.
Whew.
That'd be awesome. We'd be there.
Would we?
We'd be there. I'm just telling you. We'd be at that one. We'd be at that.
You know the right people there?
I know the
Napoleon?
right people.
Right.
And I've got a sneaky feeling Jerry Beauty take care of us at Defiance, too.
Yeah, I would think so.
If it's within his power, he'll make it happen.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see who was put in for games.
Well, that's the other thing.
At the regional championship a year ago, there were some teams that didn't.
Yeah.
Or schools that didn't, I should say.
Yeah.
Around the area. But we'll find out as hopefully by Saturday morning we'll maybe have a little bit of an idea on Rise and Rewind where some of the regional championships will be played.
Yeah, and a lot.
I know they officially don't announce them till Sunday, but we have some connections we can work the phones on and maybe find out.
We'll know.
And now, folks, please, I urge you, don't get on social media and start complaining because the games are not an equidistance for each school. You can't do that. You can't just build a stadium in 1 week that is exactly in the middle. sometime one team is going to have to travel further. The only people that complain are the fans.
Yeah.
The coaches and the kids and the people involved with the team, they don't care.
No. And don't complain about equal distance. And then also don't get on social media and say that there's a rule that it has to be equal distance.
No, there is no rule.
And don't say that the coaches have to agree or the ADs have to agree. I see some of the most outlandish stuff on social media. And I think the people that are saying it believe in their minds that that is a fact. But come on, people. Wherever it is,
right,
it's about the kids.
And not every school put in to host. They don't make a lot of money. They make peanuts because they don't get paid a whole lot to host anymore.
No.
They don't get the ticket revenue anymore. The schools that are hosting are just kind of doing it out of the kindness of their heart.
Yes,
really.
Yes, they are.
So don't, please. Now they will, but they will complain.
Yeah, and people will complain about charging for parking too.
That's the only way they make money.
And that's what I was going to say.
The only way they make money.
And so if a school is charging for parking, that's part of the reason you are able to play your game at that site.
Yes.
Because they are limited to the funds they can bring in.
I think you can afford the $5. Now, the ticket prices, I can go on a little soapbox with those types of things.
Yeah.
But the things that we've touched on, just relax a little bit, please. Just enjoy the game. You're going to go to the game no matter what.
Yeah.
And don't get upset about these spreads either that the analytical people put out there. It's just something.
Yeah.
Just something.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's the gospel truth.
Yeah, and so use it as motivation if you don't like it.
Right.
So, fans, love fans, love fans.
Yeah. Archbold, number 3 seed, 9-2, 35.4 points per game, 17.6 allowed. Going to Bascom to play Hopewell Loudon, who was 10-1, 34.1 points per game, 8 points per game allowed. Fantastic 50 likes Hopewell Loudon by 3, and Dubstat likes Hopewell Loudon by 6 in this matchup. Matchup of two teams that have not met in the playoff era. That's a little bit surprising because these two teams have had a lot of success here in the last few decades. The Chieftains have thrown for 1,567 yards on 116 of 170 passing. They've ran for 2,148 yards on 328 attempts. Hopewell Loudon quarterback Jacoby Ellis, 104 of 150, 1,432 yards, 23 TDs. Jason Kramer, 620 yards on 94 rushing attempts and 7 TDs. Brody Brickman has 628 yards and 13 TDs on 83 attempts. Kellen Frankert has 568 yards and 6 TDs on 89 attempts. And Jack Colatrillo has a team best 584 yards receiving on 38 grabs. Brickman also has 532 yards receiving on 37 snags and 11 touchdowns. Hopewell Loudon foes have gained 1,104 yards passing on 192 attempts and ran for 873 yards on 276 attempts. So they've done a pretty good job against the running game this season, have the Chieftains. Archbold, 2,206 yards passing, 1,737 on the ground. Ryder Ryan, 1,129 yards rushing, 15 TDs. Maddox Penner, the Archbold quarterback, 147 of 223 through the air. He's approaching 2,000 yards. He is 69 away from that, 20 touchdowns on the season. Morgan Harris leads the streak, 728 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns on 39 grabs. Aranger Krager, 39 catches, 507 yards, and 4 TDs. Archbold has allowed 1,555 yards passing on 72 of 116 to foes this season, and they've given up 1,916 yards rushing on 351 attempts. So they've been gashed a little bit in the running game, and Hopewell Loudon supports a pretty good rushing attack for Brian Colatrillo. A veteran Hopewell Loudon team. This team has some seniors. Archbold a little bit younger. Are they ready? Are they ready for this type of game?
First thing I'll say is 2 very, very well coached football teams. Brian Colatrillo was a teammate of mine at Bluffton. Always been a high IQ guy. He's taken Hopewell Loudon to the state finals a couple of times. He's a fantastic coach. Bascom, Hopewell, Loudon kids are tough too. I'm going to tell you that. They're country boys. They're physical and tough. We saw Patrick Henry beat them a couple times. So that's kind of fresh in my mind. They rolled Cary way back, okay, in week 1. Here's the bottom line. I'm going with Archbold because I believe in Archbold vehemently, their coaches and their skill guys. I really do. And I think Archbold wins this game. I think it's super close. I'm actually surprised Hopewell's favored in both those analytical things there. But I'm going with Archbold, and I think they get it done. I think it's going to be tough, but I think they get it done on the road.
I like Archbold, too, in this matchup.
Do you?
I do. I think D6 is wide open outside of Kirtland this season. Now, Coldwater and Anna are probably going to have something to say about that. We'll get to those Coldwater and Anna matchups they have coming up this week here in just a second. But maybe not the same Coldwater team from a year ago that won state. But still Coldwater.
Yeah.
Kirtland is the prohibitive favorite in D6. Now, Kirtland's going to be a monster challenge for anybody else this season.
Yeah, I agree. And Archbold, I doubt those kids have ever been to Bascom, but the setting of Hopewell's stadium, I mean, it's kind of now it's been years since I've been there, and Coach Colatrillio was coaching. He's had 2 stints there, and this is his second stint. He left for a little bit, came back, and I went and watched his team play. I want to say did they play Liberty Center there a long time ago, 15 years ago? Maybe not. Anyway, that's set there in the country, man, in the sticks, in the trees. So a little different atmosphere than Archbold's seen throughout the season, I'll tell you that. So tough place to go win. But I like the streaks.
I think this one will be tight.
I do too.
I think it'll be one of the better games in our coverage area this week.
Archbold may have to win it on the final possession. That's how close I think it could be.
Yeah, I agree with that. Region 23 outside of our coverage area, but number 5 Colonel Crawford 11-1 at number 1 Centerburg, who is 10-1, and number 3 West Jefferson 10-1 at number 2 Beverly Fort Fry, who is 9-1. Any favorites there for you, Coach? Don't know a whole lot about these teams.
Same with me, Lynn. I'll just say Colonel Crawford's one of my best college buddies, is a treasurer there. So that's why I'm going to go with Colonel Crawford.
Okay. Region 24, a couple of MAC schools that we follow will be in action. Number 5 Coldwater 8-4 at number 1 New Madison Tri-Village, who was 11-0, and then number 6 Anna is at number 2 Springfield Northeastern, who is 10-1 this season. Coldwater 8-4, 31.1 points per game, 13.3 allowed. New Madison Tri-Village 54.5 points per game, 8 points per game allowed this season for Tri-Village. Coldwater favored by 14 according to Ohio Fantastic 50. Dubstat likes Tri-Village by 6. So mixed feelings on which way this one will go. Never met. Tri-Village never been past the regional semifinals in the playoffs. Coldwater has been past the regional semifinals quite a few times, folks. The Patriots have thrown for 2,313 yards, ran for 2,288. They average 11.5 yards per carry, does Tri-Village this season. Staley Colston, 765 yards rushing and 10 TDs. Noah Finkbein averages 16.8 yards per tote. He doesn't have a whole lot of carries this season, but when he does touch it, he goes for almost 20 yards. Colt Camacho averages 14.4 for the Patriots. Tri-Village quarterback Trey Sagester, 114 of 154, 1,998 yards, 30 TDs. Griffin Richards leads the team with 45 catches for 1,036 yards. That's 23 yards per grab, 18 touchdowns on the season for Mr. Richards.
My concern for Tri-Village, now, if you're good, you're good. Okay, I know people question Liberty Benton's schedule, and if you're good, you're good. You play who's on your schedule, but Tri-Village, their schedule concerns me a little bit. I'm familiar with a lot of those teams on their schedule. Even some of them that have pretty good records, If you know, you know. I like Coldwater here, and I could end up being wrong. Tri-Village could shock me, but I'd be surprised if they do.
Yeah, Coldwater. I don't have the updated stats from after their game a week ago. Carson Hoban, 814 yards rushing, leading the team. He has 9 touchdowns. So does Derek Dews. They've outscored foes 121-31 in the second quarter of games this season. Have the Cavaliers. Receiving wise, Caleb Schroyer, 32 grabs, 351 yards, 6 TDs, leading the Cavs this season. Caden Obringer, 543 yards, receiving on 29 grabs. Don't really do anything. None of the Coldwater stats, all you kind of like the Tri-Village stats do. But
I think that is because of the schedules. Coldwater doesn't have a team on their schedule that you look at other than maybe Parkway. You look at and you say
Delphus St. John's.
Delphus St. John's was down,
two.
But Tri-Village has a handful of teams on their schedule that Coldwater would have scored 70 on, just like they did, and so that makes the stats super gaudy. So
they go about their business a little different in MAC country too.
They just
a little
do.
more run based, not super spread. Now they will spread you out a little bit, but
they can.
It's not the Bob Olin fun and gun offense like you're used to seeing. I think Tri-Village is maybe going to score some points. They may get in the 20s.
Yeah.
But they're not going to score enough to knock off Chip Otten and crew.
Nope. And again, when you're a MAC team and you're in the playoffs, I don't care if it's a regional semis, regional final, state semis, sometimes state final, you can exhale unless you're playing another MAC team. And so I could see a Coldwater and a regional final real easy.
Yep. Speaking of Anna, the 6th seed at number 2, South Vienna Northeastern, who is 10-1. Northeastern 43.1 points per game, giving up just 14.6. Anna 9-3, 32.5 points per game, giving up just 14.3. Fantastic 50 likes the Rockets by 17, and Dub Stat likes Anna by 10. Anna won 17-3 in the first round of the 2021 playoffs against Northeastern. The Jets have thrown for 1,857 yards on 95 of 135 passing. They've ran for 2,276 yards on 334 attempts. Diesel Taylor, 89 of 124, 1,752 yards passing for Northeastern, 27 TDs, only 1 interception. Cody Hausman has ran for 1,232 yards and 13 scores for the Jets, while Jacoby Newman leads Northeastern in receiving 45 catches, 1,062 yards, and 17 scores. Another team that the MAC is facing that puts up a bunch of points, gaudy stats, but can they knock off Anna, who is a couple possession favorite in each analytical point of view?
Honestly, you see so many times when you look at the point spreads with whoever is playing a MAC school, they're ridiculous. Sometimes even in the state semis, it's 30 plus. To see Tri-Village, favored by 6 by Dubstat, and to see Anna only favored by 10, that tells me Tri-Village and South Vienna Northeastern are pretty good. That tells me they're pretty good. Otherwise, the spread would be 28 to 40 points. So I like Anna. I'm not picking against the MAC, against anyone outside of the MAC right now. Give me an Anna Coldwater final.
Yeah, give me the Rockets as well. And could be a couple of huge MAC regional championships. We'll get to the potential Division 7 Region 28 MAC championship game that we're talking about. And we could see a Coldwater and Anna matchup. Anna 14-7. Was that the regular season?
Oh, yeah, final score, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, 14-7.
Boy, that would be a tight one if they play again.
Ooh, I'd lean Coldwater this time.
Would you?
Yeah.
You like the Cavaliers if we get to that one next week?
Yeah, maybe by the same score, just flip it.
Just flip it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how close I think that is.
Okay. All right.
Man.
We might be able to talk about that one next week, Coach.
I hope so.
Also in Division 6 coming up this week around the state, or I'm sorry, that is, I guess, the final region. Did I give you Region 23? Colonel Crawford and Centerburg?
Yes, you did.
I did, okay. I can't remember if I gave those matchups in Region 23. But Kirtland, the big favorite in D6 this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line. Could somebody get them? I always feel like somebody can get them. Kirtland plays kind of like Cary does. They just pound you.
Yep.
And they get new uniforms about once every 25 years. There's years in the state finals they're wearing, looks like practice jerseys, from the 80s. They don't care. No frills.
Yeah.
They just show up and play.
Yeah,
So
no doubt about that. Going to take our final break and come back and talk about the Division 7 matchups around the area and around the state when we come back after these messages. Family owned since 1968, St. Holtz McCarnes Incorporated stands apart from other corporate-owned convenience stores. Our main stop convenience stores are branded Marathon and are locally owned and operated, including our new location on Scott Street in Napoleon. This drives our passion for providing the best possible products and services to our neighbors, friends, and family throughout Northwest Ohio. Main Stop convenience stores are the hub of many small communities in Northwest Ohio, and we strive to provide our customers with fast, friendly service and a fun atmosphere. And remember, the best stop is Main Stop. KK Collision is a leader in the auto repair industry that has been servicing Northwest Ohio's auto needs for over 27 years. We offer a fast and reliable repair option that stands above the competition. When your vehicle enters our facility, you can be assured that you have chosen the most technologically advanced repair facility in the area. KK Collision is an automotive body and mechanical shop, as well as both a light and heavy-duty towing service located in Liberty Center. Our towing services cover Northwest Ohio and the surrounding area 24 hours a day. Are you in need of a repair estimate? Visit us anytime during business hours for a free estimate at T556 Ohio 109 on the north side of Liberty Center, or call 888-533-7801 or visit our website at kkcollision.com. The Swanton Welding Company proudly supports our local student athletes and coaches. We're committed to being your local steel fabrication company in Northwest Ohio and building projects across the country. For job opportunities at the Swanton Welding Company, visit www.swantonweld.com or visit them at 407 Zider Way in Swanton. Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies. Thank you to all of our sponsors this season, including Main Stop, our good friend Jeff Erb there at the Main Stop, KK Collision, Kyle Kern and crew, and then also our good buddy Normie Zider at the Swanton Welding Company. Normie will be charged up for the big Liberty Center, Liberty Benton game coming up on Friday night. I'm sure he'll have a prime seat at Tiger Stadium, or I should say Rex Lindgren Stadium / Kip Kern Field these days.
Yeah, Normie will have a prime seat. And I'll tell you one place you won't see Normie. You're not going to see him out here at the tailgate.
You don't think so?
Nope, guaranteed. Guaranteed. It'd be like pulling teeth to get Normie to this tailgate. And it's nothing personal against anybody. Normie's a very private man. He's mostly business. I wouldn't say all business, mostly business. And unless you're real close to Normie, he doesn't show you his hand. He's a private man. He's faith, family, his Swanton Welding business, and Tiger football. That's it. That's how his priorities stack up. I'd bet $1 million on that.
Well, if Normie's listening, let's see what he says.
All right.
Normie better be listening. I don't know why he wouldn't.
I would hope so.
He better be. We're still waiting for him to show up for a Rise and Rewind show. He sponsors that show.
I know.
Very much appreciate Normie for sponsoring that this season.
Yeah, we're very thankful to Normie. I'm hoping he'd show up and bring us breakfast.
Yeah. I thought maybe he'd stop out here for some ribs on Friday night from Outlaw Barbecue.
No, he won't.
A little pork sandwich, brisket.
I could see him sending Sarah here to get him some brisket,
Yeah, I
but
could see that.
he ain't showing
Or
up.
one of the kids.
Or one of the kids. He ain't showing up, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I'd love to be proved wrong on that, though. Folks would love to see Normie.
We may, if we go to Liberty Center on Friday, we may be seeing Normie
Yeah.
here on our way through.
There's
And if Normie's here, we'll stop. If Normie's here, we'll stop.
Deal.
We'll put it that way.
Deal.
So Normie, if you're stopping here, let us know. We'll stop too.
Deal.
We'll buy you a sandwich.
Deal. I'd say it's the least we can do for all he's done for us.
I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. What time's the Rise and Rewind going to be on Saturday morning? I don't have anywhere to be. on a Saturday.
Okay, I am wide open. I am not going to make the trip down to Marietta on Saturday.
You want to do 9 again? I think that's a good time.
9's a good number. Let's go 9 a.m.
Get done about 11, and plenty of time for me to shop for my goodies on Saturday because I don't have anywhere to go this Saturday.
Same with me. I walked out of here Saturday with cheddar brats and the extra thick ground beef patties from Sonnenberg Farms, and I still have them in the freezer. I didn't have to break them out this weekend. So
they're still
there. Now they're not going to make it past probably Wednesday, if I'm being honest. So I'll need to restock Saturday.
That 12-pack of Pepsi I see you carry out, is that still in your fridge?
That is dissolved.
Okay.
That is gone. Yes.
I had a feeling that may have not survived
the
weekend.
That is gone with all that college football.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the Pepsi on a college football Saturday.
Yeah. Not a lot of great college football games on Saturday, were there? I had to make the trip to Latonia for the 8-man state championship, so I didn't get a chance to pay much attention. But
the Buckeyes are playing Purdue, Lynn, and I didn't even turn that game on. I didn't even turn that game on. Kind of like Liberty fans, some weeks they'll go watch somebody else. Mm-hmm. It's kind of how I am with the Buck. I'm not watching them play Purdue right now.
Oh, tell you what, the big one this Saturday, I think it's at noon, Notre Dame and Pitt. Our boy Mason Heinchel against the Fighting Irish.
Ooh.
I think that's at Pitt, and I think game day may be going to that.
I'll tell you what, the Irish will have their hands full.
You see Mason Heinchel on the John Gruden podcast last week.
I did.
If you haven't watched that or listened to it, folks, I'd urge you to jump on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts and find the John Gruden podcast. He had Mason Heinchel on there.
He's a pretty well-adjusted young man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mason
Heinchel. Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. When Gruden's interviewing you, you've arrived.
There's a lot of college football teams out there wishing they made a little bigger pitch to Mr. Heinchel.
It's amazing. For every recruiting story where a college got it right, there's more misses. It's outrageous.
These recruiting experts don't know a whole lot.
Trust me, Lynn. There's very few that I would pay for their services because there's certain kids you just watch and you go, oh yeah, yep, he can play. And if we watched Mason Heinchel spin it against Napoleon last year. I don't even care who the opponent was. Okay, he was different. And if you're a Division I college coach and you watch that and didn't say he's different, then shame on you. Shame on you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, we got to get out of here before noon for that one then.
Yes. Yeah, I'll be locked in.
I'm going to watch that.
I agree.
It'll be a big game.
I'll be watching that.
Pitt and Notre Dame. Notre Dame going to have to win it to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Notre Dame probably get in with 4 losses the way things go now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be 8-4 and be a...
Could be right. Could be right. We got to finish up one more division, though, before we get off our podcast this week. Division 7, Region 25. Number 4, Monroeville, 9-2, is at number 1, McDonald, who is 11-0. And number 7, East Canton, 10-2, at number 3, Mogador, who is 10-1. I'm going to go McDonald and Mogador.
Are you?
Those two. We'll pick these.
Okay.
That region.
Okay. I'm going to go Monroeville and Mogador.
Okay.
I think McDonald-Monroeville will be a good game. I'm just going Monroeville because I have some friends that played there. A buddy of mine from college played there, graduated there. He's an optometrist now. And so I just always kind of have followed Monroeville out of the corner of my eye.
Okay.
So
I don't know that this is the 80s Mogador teams, the Norm Lingle Wildcat teams from the 80s and 70s and into the 90s.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
But, boy, storied small town football.
Yes, they love it.
There in Mogador. Region 26, couple of rematches coming up on Friday night there. Number 4, Columbus Grove, 8-3 at number 1, LCC at Lima Spartan Stadium. And then number 7, Pandora Gilboa, 9-3 at number 3, Lipsick, who is 10-1. Columbus Grove coming in, 33.4 points per game, 15.2 allowed. LCC, 31.5 points per game, giving up 13.3. Fantastic 50 likes Columbus Grove by 5. Dubstat likes Columbus Grove a little bit more, 14.5 in that matchup. Just met a few weeks ago in week number 9. Grove leads the series 10-9 and won the last 3 games after losing the previous 8 versus LCC. Grove is 6-0 all time when playing a team twice in the same season. Keep that in mind for your pick here, Coach. Allen East in 2020, LCC a year ago, Pandora Gilboa in 2001 and 2004, and Bluffton in 1999 and 2023. They beat all those twice when they played them the second time. Grove won 33-25 on October 17th. Grove led 33-13 going into the fourth quarter before the Thunderbirds tried to mount an uprising. LCC outgained Grove that night, 370-253 on 7 more plays. The T-Birds had 123 yards rushing on 26 attempts and 247 yards passing on 16 of 25 attempts. Grove had 32 yards rushing on 20 attempts and completed 23 of 24 passes for 221 yards. Landon Best nearly perfect that night, 23 of 24, 221 yards. 3 of those went for touchdowns. Trevin Baxter, remember what Trevin Baxter did there in Week 9 against the Thunderbirds? 18 catches, a single-game school record. He had 172 yards and 1 TD. Gavin Braza had 49 yards and 2 scores on 5 grabs. LCC quarterback Brady Parker, 16 of 25, 247 yards, 3 TDs. Michael Quatman caught 7 passes, 90 yards. 2 of those went for touchdowns. And Flores added 6 grabs for 123 yards and a TD. You picked LCC to win this region, right? You staying with the Thunderbirds? What? You're changing? You're changing?
I've seen the light, Lynn. I've seen the light, and I've reflected on my pick to win this region. I've reflected on it, and I have some regret. Columbus Grove, Trevin Baxter, and that night 18 catches. I'll bet you half of those were underneath 5 yards, slip screens, quick throws, things like that. But he's hard to get on the ground when he catches those. Both coaching staffs are going to adjust some things from a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
9.
You'll get it right.
9,
Yeah.
10, 11, 12. 3 weeks ago. Which coaching staff is able to push the right buttons and tweak what they need to, but not too much, because I don't think you want to overthink it. I'm going to give the edge to Grove there, especially with former LCC coach Scott Paldy on staff.
Yeah, don't forget about that.
He knows those kids. He knows most of those kids and their strengths and weaknesses and things, which may have helped him a few weeks ago. But I am going to do an about face in this region, and I'm going to go with Columbus Grove to get it done over LCC in the rematch. 6-0 in rematches. How can you pick against that? Even though LCC's hosting them. I'm going with the Bulldogs. Going to have their hands full, though. LCC's going to be ready to play. Grove gets it done.
Grove rolls.
Rolls?
Yep.
Bigger than
2
last
scores
time?
plus.
2 scores plus. It's quite a statement.
Andy Schaefer and crew get you on film. Not beating them.
Rolls, huh?
2+ scores.
2+ scores.
14+.
Ooh.
No, it may stay close for 3 quarters, but Grove pulls away.
Say 28-14.
That's about where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah.
27-13, 28-14,
Yeah.
somewhere right in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with. But
Grove. They'll be tough.
Yep. Grove's rolling.
All right. We'll see.
No problem for the Bulldogs this week.
Next one's maybe the toughest pick of the night.
Oh, I agree. Number 7, Pandora Gilboa at number 3, Lipsick. Pandora Gilboa, 32.5 points per game, 19 points per game allowed. Lipsick, 10-1, 33.4 points per game, 18.1 allowed. Fantastic 50 likes Lipsick by 5. Dubstat doesn't have a pick. 0. Push for this matchup. Lipsick won 12-7, but all the way back in week number 4, Coach Mark Kirkendall threw an 88-yard touchdown to Avery Paris in the first quarter, and Aaron Hazelton scored the game-winning touchdown on a 1-yard run with 3:39 left. Kirkendall was 9 of 17, 262 yards. Pandora Gilboa's Corey Gurton, 15 and 27, 149 yards. PG running back Ben Burkholder had 106 yards on the ground on 28 lugs. He scored the lone Rockets TD. Chase Meyer caught 8 passes, 118 yards for the Rockets. Lipsick had just 54 yards rushing on 22 attempts, while PG had 164 yards on 41 attempts rushing. Columbus Grove would love to get their hands on Pandora Gilboa again after that opening Thursday night loss to the Rockets.
Could you imagine?
They would love to get another piece of the Rockets. A little rivalry game there between those two communities.
Yeah, and if you're a PG, I think you don't want that. You don't want that. But
do they get by Lipsick? If
you get that, that means that you cleared this hurdle, which I think they'd take. One question I would have, I would love to see the stats from that game. And you mentioned their 2 touchdowns with Hazelton capping it off there. 7 points for PG. How many times were they in the red zone and came up empty? And maybe the answer's 0. Maybe they scored the only time they were in the red zone. But 12-7, I have to believe Pandora Gilboa had some opportunities deep in Lipsick territory they didn't capitalize on.
Didn't throw for a lot of yards, 149. Ben Burkholder, he got 106, but it took him 28 carries to do it.
It's a lot.
But I don't. Without seeing the film, I don't know how many trips each team had into the other's territory or deep into the other's territory.
Yeah, that would, if I could watch that film from start to finish, that would make this pick much easier because you would turn the film off and have a real good idea. But having not seen the film, I am going to do something I haven't done in a couple weeks. And if Lipsick loses, then the blame may be on me because I'm going to pick them in every game that's been close. Now, I picked Liberty Benton, but, we both did. I've always gone against Lipsick in the close games. As much as I think Pandora could get revenge in this, Mark Kirkendall and the athletes Lipsick has, I can't pick against him again.
Does Williams get loose this time?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance he does. And we know Lipsick's well coached. And PG is too, but Lipsick at home, all things are pointing to Lipsick here. Boy, it's close, but I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Give me PG. Hard to beat a team twice.
Especially when it's that close.
12-7. PG ran it a little bit better the first time around. I'll take the Rockets.
Yeah.
Just to be different. No other reason than that.
Yeah.
Just to make the Pandora Gilboa fans happy.
Yeah. No, I like that pick. This to me, you see Dubstat, it's a push, equal, no line. I would flip a coin here. And if I flipped a coin, I'd be content with whichever came up. That's how close this is.
Is it defensive again? Is it?
No.
More points?
Yep, 35-28.
Okay.
Yep.
35-28 this time.
I
opens
think,
up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it opens up. And I think it opens up. I really do. I think this is going to come down to one possession.
Okay.
I don't think there's any way one of the teams wins by 14. And if one of them does win by 14, it might be Pandora. I just think somehow Lipsick bottled them up the first time. I don't know that that's going to happen again, but I'm going to say Lipsick outscores them.
Okay. Find out on Friday night. We'll recap it on Saturday morning's Rise and Rewind. Region 27, number 4, Willowwood Sims Valley, 9-2 at number 1, Jeromesville Hillsdale, 10-1, and number 11, Danville, 7-5 at number 2, Waterford in the Region 27 semifinals.
Boy, I'm just gonna take the easy pick here. I'm gonna go with Jeromesville Hillsdale, just because they're kind of a usual suspect.
Yeah,
it hasn't ended well for them many times,
right.
But they're always there.
Yeah, a lot of the lower seeded teams remain in Region 27 and Region 28 is Danville, the 11 seed in Region 27. And then you go to Region 28, you have 12 seed Fort Recovery going to Marion Local and number 11 seed Cedarville. So you have 5 teams, 9 or lower, still alive in the playoffs, and 3 of them are right here in Region 27 or Region 28. Speaking of Region 28, Fort Recovery 7-5 at Marion Local. They have never beaten the Flyers. Have the Indians. Marion Local favored by 29 according to Fantastic 50. Dubstat likes Marion Local by 26.5.
Probably about right.
Yeah, Marion Local led 35-0 at the half in the October 10th meeting. Flyers had 184 yards rushing on 29 attempts and threw for 130 on 7 of 12 passing. Fort Recovery, 133 yards on 25 rushing attempts and were 6 of 6 through the air for just 31 yards. Marion Local ended with a 314 to 164 edge in total yardage in that one. So not a huge discrepancy in I mean twice as much, but it wasn't like Marion Local put up 500 yards or something that night, and probably did what they needed to, and probably bleeded the clock. I would assume from the Marion Local perspective, a 41-7 victory in that one. Camden Eifert ran for 104 yards and 3 TDs on just 9 rushes for Marion Local. Braden Mesher, he caught 4 passes for 89 yards and a touchdown. Brennan Hess, 7 of 12 through the air, 130 yards and 2 scores. Reese Wendell totaled 87 yards rushing and 1 TD on 13 totes for Fort Recovery, which completed just 6 of 16 passes in that one. They're going to have to probably do a little more damage to the air to make this competitive. I don't think they can win it.
No,
I don't think they have a chance of winning it. But it's a step in the right direction for Wes Winning and crew to at least make this competitive.
You're darn right it is. Have a chance to play 13 games. Marion Local's the pick, obviously. There in this conference, there's so much mutual respect amongst coaches and things like that. You talked about Marion Local, maybe getting the lead, bleeding the clock, running the ball. That's what they do in that league. They're just all high character guys with a ton of respect for one another. And in this game, I don't think it's going to be a whole lot different, to be honest with you. But a huge step, like you said, for Coach Winning.
Could it be, 14-0 or something at the half this time around, or not as bad as it was the first time when it was 35-0? I think it's maybe a little bit closer than that.
I'd say 21-0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but boy, it's going to be hard for Fort Recovery to score points.
It's just, as you're game planning throughout the weekend and week for Marion Local, you try to find advantages, matchup advantages, schematic advantages, catch them lined up this way and hit them with this. I just don't know that there's a whole lot on film you can exploit.
Yeah, I think the lines that Fantastic 50 and Dubstat have are pretty
close.
Pretty close.
Yep.
I think it'll be in the 30 range, and the rematch that we've been discussing all year could materialize. St. Henry, the 2 seed, 10-1, 30.5 points per game, giving up 9.2. They host Cedarville, who's 7-5, 31.1 points per game, giving up 25.3. Is Cedarville? Oh, see the margin for this one?
Yeah.
Looks like the rematch has a pretty good chance for next Friday night. Dubstat likes St. Henry by 32.5, and Fantastic 50 likes the Redskins by even more. 44 they like the Redskins. St. Henry 5-0 all-time against Cedarville. Have not played those since 1998, have these two teams.
Yeah, this is Cedarville. Lynn, Cedarville has had a nice football team the last several years, and they always run into a MAC school and just get absolutely sanded. And that's not an indictment on Cedarville. They just it is
welcome
what
to
it
the
is.
club.
Welcome to I mean they're in good company, but that's what happens to them. And so they've had a nice year again this year, a very respectable year has Cedarville. But that game, as I like to say, it's going to be what it's going to be, and the Cedarville folks know it. Mm-hmm. They know it. I mean, they've had a solid year, but those predictions by Fantastic 50 and Dubstat are probably in the ballpark. That game's probably going to be 28-0, 35-0, 35-7 at halftime. It just is, and then St. Henry will run the ball and move on. But Yeah, I don't see any scenario where Cedarville can get it done against the
No,
Redskins.
I don't either. I'll take the Redskins as well to set up the big rematch from earlier this season in week number 3 when Marion Local picked up a 21-14 victory over St. Henry in that MAC matchup.
Be fun to speculate on that. You got to think maybe Sydney.
Sydney's a big stadium.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, that would probably hold the crowd that will be expected for that.
I know who will be at that game if it happens.
Who's that?
Brayton and Denny Martin.
Oh, yeah, probably. Or will they go watch Braden DeVito and Shelby if they can survive Lima Bath against a Perkins or a Galleon team?
Marion Local St. Henry.
Yeah, it'd be hard not to.
Yeah.
Traditional, storied, small school powers. Oh,
yeah.
That's about as big of a regional final that I can remember in some time.
Ever. Yeah. Maybe as big a one as ever.
Yeah, Sydney would be a good spot for it.
It's the one that jumps out to me.
Huge stadium. That's a monstrous stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. Would Wapak be a possibility for that one or not?
Maybe. May depend on some other divisions.
Yeah. Yeah. May depend if Wapak's playing too. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true too. If they can knock off
Yeah.
Central Catholic, they'd be in action that night. I doubt that they would want to host.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think-
another problem for some of these schools.
Yep.
Their team is still playing. I know it's a week or almost 2 weeks away, but a St. Henry Marion Local rematch. Are we in for a same type of game, close? You don't have to give a pick, but is it going to be tight again?
Not as tight. Not as tight. And that's all I'll say for now.
Okay.
Because I have some thoughts on that.
We'll wait till Saturday morning because
Yeah.
I think there's a 99.999% chance of St. Henry and Marion Local meeting again, knowing the matchups they have this week.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I'm excited about that.
Veterans Day tomorrow, Coach.
Yep.
Veterans near and dear to our near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah, big time day. I love how so many schools have Veterans Day assemblies. I think sometimes our younger generations become more distant from what the military and our veterans have meant to this country. And so anytime you can connect them, when I was at Lipsick from 01 to 07, they had a just real special Veterans Day program. And one of our custodians at Lipsick was a tunnel rat in Vietnam. And I remember seeing this gentleman. He's one of the nicest guys ever. Okay, and I would see him every day at school, taking out the trash in the cafeteria. A smaller guy, because you got to be smaller to be a tunnel rat. And if you're not sure what tunnel rats do, look it up. See what tunnel rats did in Vietnam, and then tell me if you think you could do it. And I would just see him and not think anything of it because I didn't know his story. And then we're at the Veterans Day Assembly at Lipsick, and he comes up to speak, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, I didn't even know he's a veteran. And then he tells a story about being a tunnel rat and what he faced and what he went through. You want to talk about, number one, those guys are all humble. All those veterans are humble. I never knew that, and I worked with the guy for a lot of years. And then I started researching what a tunnel rat did. I never looked at him the same way ever again. And afterwards, I and many others thanked him. And he didn't. He said, that's fine. That's just what I did. Unbelievable. And so take time tomorrow. You know what I like to do on Memorial Day? Veterans Day's different. What I like to do on these days is I like to find a YouTube video, a documentary, an article, and I like to kind of focus in on it and read something that has to do with the observance of these holidays. And so I would encourage people to do that and then thank a veteran while you're at it.
I agree. Totally agree. I wish our schools would maybe take the whole day and educate our youth on our veterans.
Love it.
Honestly.
Love it. Yeah, we've had, like at Napoleon, I'll say, we've had mental health days, which again is excellent, right? And where kids go to different workshops, different activities that are all tied into mental health and well-being, mental well-being. How about a day where it's all focused on veterans, different speakers, different activities?
I think it's important.
I do too.
For our youth to understand it and be educated on it and what these folks have done for all of us.
Yeah. Maybe we'd take less for granted, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah,
I love it. I'm glad you mentioned that, Lynn.
Yeah, don't overlook tomorrow, please.
No.
It's a special day and a day that we need to thank those that have served.
Yep, absolutely. And we got a lot of them right here in Northwest Ohio.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Buy them lunch.
Darn
you see
right.
a veteran out.
Darn
Buy
right.
them lunch, a coffee, whatever it is. Even if it's a small token, because we can never thank them enough, and we're always indebted to them. We can never pay them enough for what they've done for us.
No, and as we get worked up over point spreads and playoff neutral site locations, we've got men and women overseas defending our freedom. So let's keep it in perspective.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We'll be back on Friday night. Somewhere we'll keep you updated on where we'll be on Friday and Saturday morning. Rise and Rewind, 9 a.m. We will recap all the regional semifinals from our area and give you the scores from around the state and get you ready for regional championship week coming up next week.
Can't wait. Some great matchups this week, buddy.
Yep, looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.